ॐ दक्षिणस्य समारम्भा शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमा अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ता स्मर्या गुरुपरम्परा श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। परिज्ञानाश्रम श्रीगुरुशङ्कर परिज्ञानाश्रम शङ्कर सद्गुरु केशव वामन कृष्ण पाण्डुरङ्ग आनन्द परिज्ञान गुरुः सद्यो जात शङ्कर सद्गुरुः गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। So we completed the first section of the first chapter. Now it's very difficult to divide this Narada Bhakti Sutra into chapters and sections because it is something which is a continuous, run, a continuous running series of 85 sutras. It is continuous running. But some of the acharyas who have written books, who have written commentaries on these things, have to some extent tried to kind of, make these sutras into groups and trying to talk about what this particular section is going to describe about bhakti. There's nothing wrong in it. Therefore, sometimes we may have, this section and chapter and all that. According to this one of the books, actually, if you look at the Gita Press book, which is the most authentic, we don't find those kind of sections and chapters and all. It's one continuous series of, the sutras. Now, in this particular few, in the next 7 or 8 sutras, we find what is the swarupam of this bhakti? What is the nature of this bhakti? Or what is it that is unique to this parabhakti? Because as I have been saying it repeatedly in the last 4 or 5 sessions, that Narada Bhakti Sutra is talking about the ultimate bhakti, that is jnanam. A jnani bhakta it is talking about. It's talking about parabhakti, parabhakta. And parabhakti is not different from jnanam at all. And that is the uniqueness of this bhakti. And we have already seen that a bhakta goes through various stages. Lord Krishna himself has described these various stages in the form of Ekarupa Ishvara Bhakti, Vishwarupa Ishvara Bhakti, then Brahma Bhakti or Arupa Ishvara Bhakti. Nirguna Ishvara Bhakti means it is knowledge. And this apara bhakti, which involves the artha bhakti or artharthi bhakti, even a karma yogi who is using Ishvara in the form of his Ishtadevata for karma yoga to offer whatever he is doing, his karma, to Ishvara in the form of his Ishtadevata, nishkamataya, not having a sankalpa towards getting something material out of it. He is also a bhakta, but here the bhakti is far mature than that of an artha bhakta ne arthartha bhakta. Here, the very purpose of a karma yogi bhakta, karma yogi is a bhakta, as I told you, jnana yogi is a bhakta, upasana yogi is a bhakta. Bhakti is the connection between the bhakta bhakta or me and Ishvara, whatever may be the level or whatever may be the maturity through which this person goes through. So, the Abheda Bhakti is only the Parabhakti, that is the final Jnani Bhakta. Jnani tu Mama Atma eva, Lord Krishna said. So, Jnani Bhakti Saha me Parama Priyaha. He is the one who like most. Sarve yete udaraha. All these four, Jnani, Artha Bhakta, Arthartha Bhakta, Jignasu Bhakta, Jnani Bhakta, all are great because they are connecting with me in some way or the other. Whereas here, a Jnani Bhakta, the connection is Abheda. There is no difference. Like this particular thing which was explained in a beautiful way when my Vedanta Guru was taking Narada Bhakti Sutras, and I have attended these sessions, where he used to say, to be a Karma Yogi, you have to be a Bhakta. To be an Upasaka, you have to be a Bhakta. To be a Jnana Yogi, you have to be a Bhakta. Because all these stages are involving Ishvara. Then, how a Karma Yogi, an Upasana Yogi, and a Jnana Yogi Jnani, how the bhakti becomes subtle and subtle and subtle, that at the end of it, at the level of the Jnani Bhakta, the Bhakta is no longer there. There is only Ishvara. Bhakta is completely resolved into Ishvara. And he used to give this particular example. As a Karma Yogi, I still have the Kartritvam. I say, I am doing this karma. I am doing this nishkamataya without expecting anything material. I am offering this karma to Ishvara in the form of my Ishta Devata because I still don't know what that Ishvara is. But I have Shraddha in Ishvara. I know that there is something called as Ishvara. Somebody may call it higher intelligence, some may call it God, some may call it the laws of universe. Whatever it is, as a Karma Yogi, I have got a deep trust that there is something called as Ishvara, but I do not know what that Ishvara is. But I know that this Ishvara is a Karma Phaladata. And when I am doing Karma Yoga, I am doing all my karmas in the attitude of Karma Yoga, bringing Ishvara into my life, even though I do not know what Ishvara is at this stage. Nishkamataya, I offer all that I do, Laukikam va, Vaidikam va karma, I offer it to Ishvara, the Lord, in my own way, in my own form, in my own Ishtadevata form as an alambanam. At that stage, what is the understanding of this Karma Yogi? Ishvaraha asti. Aham tasya bhaktosmi. Okay? This is the bhed. There is Ishvara, I have no doubt about it. But if you ask me what is Ishvara, where is he? Where is he to be found? I don't know. But I know very well that there is Ishvara. Ishvara is of a much higher power and more powerful upadhi than me. And when I'm in a helpless situation, it is that Ishvara who's going to come to my help. And if I want to be a mumukshu on this path, if moksha is my ultimate goal, I have to start with Karma Yoga to understand that Ishvara. And as a Karma Yogi Bhakta, the first level of bhakti, which Lord Krishna calls at Ekarupa Ishvara Bhakti in the 12th chapter. What is this? What is the concept? What is the understanding of this Bhakta? Ishvaraha asti. Where is he? What he is? I don't know. Ishvaraha asti. Tasya bhaktaha ahamasmi. Tasya bhaktosmi aham. I am the Bhakta of that Ishvara. Clear bheda. Clear bheda between Bhakta and Ishvara. Over a period of time, doing karma yoga over a period of time, years together, or maybe lives together, where I offer karma yoga bhavanaya, I offer my karmas as an offering, Ishvara samarpita karmani, I do, and Ishvara prasada bhavena, I do the svikriti of the karma phala without having any kind of an entanglement with karma phala. No entanglement with karma, no entanglement with karma phala. Ishvara asti, aham tasya bhaktosmi. First, that's the level where I start as a bhakta. Slowly over a period of time, when my ragadveshas get diluted, when my entanglement with the karma becomes diluted, I really start seeing that am I really doing this karma? Because I have offered this karmas to Ishvara, so I'm not the doer here. And when I get the results, my karma phala from Ishvara, I have no judgment about that karma phala. Over a period of time, my bhakti goes through so much of subtlety and maturity that in the second stage, in the next stage, when I become an upasaka, what do I do? I understand that Ishvara yeva asti. So I started with what? Ishvara asti, aham tasya bhaktosmi. Then comes the expansion of the mind as an upasaka, where I start seeing the glory of Ishvara everywhere. The 10th chapter, the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where I become lesser and lesser and lesser and lesser. Ishvara becomes more and more. And at that time, as an upasaka, I become a Vishwarupa upasaka. And what is my inner dialogue? Ishvara yeva asti. I'm there, one small something there. But I'm no longer Ishvara asti, aham tasya bhaktosmi. That stage is over. A subtler stage where I say, Ishvara yeva asti. Okay? Ishvarat anyaha na kinchit asti. And Bhagwan Krishna only says, Mattah paratara nanyat kinchit asti dhananjaya. Mattah parataraha. Krishna says, other than me, there is nothing else. So here, a more evolved bhakta, a subtler bhakta, a bhakta with an expanded, subtler mind says, Ishvara yeva asti. And I am literally resolved into that Ishvara. In that big samashti upadhi called Ishvara, this samashti parichinna body, mind, sense complex is just absorbed in that Ishvara. I see only Ishvara, Ishvara yeva asti. Then comes the Jnana Yogi and Jnani, where the jignasa to know this Ishvara. The Shastra teaches me through the Mahavakya tat Ishvaraha saha Ishvaraha tvameva asi. So what is the third stage? Saha Ishvaraha ahameva asmi. Aham Brahma asmi. I start with what? Ishvaraha asti, because I have Shraddha and Bhakti in Shastra. I don't question the presence of Ishvara, but I say Ishvaraha asti, ahamapi asmi. But who am I? Tasya Ishvarasya Bhaktaha Amasmi. Ishvara is there, I am here. Then comes a Vishwarupa Ishvara Bhakta Upasaka who says, Ishvara yeva asti. Still Ishvara is asti. Parokshataya asti. Then who am I? I don't know. Nowadays I find myself lost in Ishvara. I don't feel that kind of a separateness that I used to feel with Ishvara. Ishvara yeva asti. And ultimately the Jnani Bhakta, what does he say? Saha Ishvaraha ahameva asmi. That is a Mahavakya Vichara taught by the Guru and Shastra. And this understanding, Aham Ishwarosmi, Ishvara Jiva Abheda, that is Parabhakti. Until then, it is Aparabhakti, Bheda Bhakti, where the Bhedam is distinct in a Karma Yogi. The Bheda becomes sort of not very clear, very unclear Bheda between me and Ishvara as an Upasaka. And then ultimately, when the Shastra and Guru tell me you are not different from Ishvara, Tat Brahma Saha Ishvara Tvameva Asi, how do I understand it? Saha Ishvara Ahameva Asmi. Ahameva Saha Ishvara Abheda Bhakti. And Abheda Bhakti is what is being talked about in Narada Bhakti Sutra. And for this Abheda Bhakti to understand, to fathom, for this mind to absorb this Abheda Bhakti and see the reality of it, what is called as the Samyak Darshanam, I need all this preparation. That is why Lord Krishna is always talking about Karma Yoga is better than Sannyasa. Karma Yoga is better than Sannyasa. Okay? Yes, Vidvat Sannyasa, highest, no doubt. But where a jnani reaches, where a sannyasi reaches, hey Karma Yogi, you will also reach, because that jnani has taken the same path. Therefore, here what is being talked about is the uniqueness, the features, or the very, what you call as the important Swarupam of this bhakti in the next few verses. So let's go to the 7th verse. I think this introduction, this I gave today, should be very, very clearly understood, because bhakti has so many connotations. Bhakti is described by so many people in so many ways. There is so much of confusion with regard to bhakti. Remember one thing, bhakti is nothing but a committed relationship, connection between Jiva and Ishvara, and it is present at various stages, starting from an Artha Bhakta up till a Jnani Bhakta. How the bhakti becomes subtler and subtler and subtler and subtler, and ultimately the bhakta disappears. Only Ishvara remains. This is the ultimate summary, or the very central core content of Narada Bhakti Sutra. Narada Bhakti Sutra is a Vedantic treatise, though it talks about bhakti. We should know what exactly bhakti means, then we will understand Narada Bhakti Sutra's core teaching is none other than Vedanta. So what are the features? What are the lakshanas of this bhakti? Let's go to the 7th verse. I'm taking it very slow because I don't think we have any limit of time. Doesn't matter if it takes 20 sessions or 25 sessions. Let's not bother. Whatever we are studying, let us do it in depth. I enjoy going more and more into depth. Swamiji wants me to go more and more into depth so that the listeners understand the depth of Vedanta. That's why I'm taking it slowly. 4 sessions, we have done only 6 verses. Anyway, now let's go to the 7th verse. Sana kamayamana nirodharupatvat. Again, this becomes a sentence. It's no longer a sutra. As I told you, sutras are alpaksharam, asandigdham, saravat, vishvatomukham, astobham. We may not find all the verses means all the sutras of Narada Bhakti Sutra may not fall into the strict definition of a sutra like in Brahma Sutra. But here, this is a sentence. It says, Sana kamayamana. Sa bhakti, para bhakti, na kamayamana. This bhakti does not desire anything. There is no element of desire, no iota of desire in it. Artha bhakti has a desire in it. Arthartha bhakti has a desire in it. And our most grossest bhakti of, oh God, you pass my son in SSLC, I will come to, whichever place it is and give you 108 coconuts. This is the grossest bhakti, but doesn't matter. There is an involvement of Ishvara. Wherever there is Ishvara in the life of a person, he is a bhakta. However gross it may be, he is a bhakta. And if this bhakta is capable of really making use of this connection, he can go from the grossest of the bhaktas to the subtlest. And as I said earlier, all our santas who have written such wonderful santavanis and literatures, they were not Artha Bhaktas, Arthartha Bhaktas, Karma Yogis or Upasakas. They had passed through all those stages and they were Jnani Bhaktas. But they brought themselves down to the Saguna Rupa Bhakti, Saguna Ishvara Bhakti, in the form of kirtans, in the form of bhajans, in the form of Nama chanting, Ram Nam chanting. So many, we have seen our Kaningad Ramdam chanting, Gondavlekar Ramnam chanting. So all these, not that these, bhaktas or these saints were, only at that level. No, they were all, Jnani Bhaktas par excellence. Pearls of Vedanta came through their mouths. If you hear them talking about, their, talks to their devotees, it's pure Vedanta. But all these saints were aware that the common man will not be able to understand Parabhakti with an Ishvara which is Nirgunam, and all these, santas brought down that Nirguna Ishvara to an understandable level in the form of a Saguna Ishvara as a name and form, maybe Rama, maybe Krishna, maybe anything for that matter, and made the devotees go into a certain system of connection with that Ishvara in the form of bhajans and kirtans and namasmarans and whatever it is which will come in the future also. The sadhanas of this bhakti Narada talks about, where he talks about everything that we are doing. Puja, bhajan, kirtan, japa, everything is being talked about as a sadhana for this bhakti. But the very swarupam of this parabhakti is what? Sana kamayamana. This bhakti has no desire in it. Why? I am Ishvara. I am Brahman. Nothing belongs to me. I don't want anything. Everything has been fulfilled. I am that Tripta Rupa Atma. I am that Purnatva Swarupa Atma. I am the Atmarati Atma Kridaha. I don't need anything from the world outside to give me any joy or pleasure. Therefore, Sa Bhakti Parabhakti na Kamayamana. Why? He gives an answer. Nirodharupatvat. Nirodharupatvat. Parabhakti is of the nature of inner renunciation. It's renunciation. As a bhakta, as a parabhakta, hey Bhagwan, I don't want anything from you. I know that I am you. I know that you are me. I know that we are not different from each other. It is one consciousness that is you and me. I don't need anything else. I am the Tripta Swarupa, Ananda Swarupa Atma. It is of the nature of renunciation. Whatever has to happen, hey Ishvara, hey Brahman, it's your sankalpa. This body, mind, sense complex is your instrument. The prarabdha that this body, mind, sense complex is going through is nothing but your sankalpa. Therefore, I am not doing it. Pashyan, Shrinvan, Jigran, Sprishan. Okay? Indriyani indriyartheshu vartante na aham kinchit karomi. I know that I am you, you are me. That's why the teaching says, Tat tvameva tvameva tat. Ishvara is you and you are Ishvara. Where did we see it? Kaivalyopanishad we saw it. The Guru says, Tvameva tat. You are that Brahman. Tat tvameva. From both sides. You are Brahman and Brahman is you. No question of any kind of part in it. No part by bhakti, no part bhakti. Total, I am you. And with that what? There is only renunciation. Nirodha swarupatvat. Nirodha. Total, what do you call? Disengagement from the world of activities. Does it mean that a jnani does not do anything? No. According to his varna and ashrama, the jnani is fully involved in whatever is supposed to be done by him. There is absolutely no going away from duty. But he has no attachment, no abhimana, either in the karma or in the karma. This is what is called as nirodharupatva, in the form of renunciation. This karma, this body, mind, sense complex is doing, offered at the altar of Ishvara. It's not my karma. It is Ishvara's karma. It is a transaction done by the body, mind, sense complex with the world outside. I have nothing to do with it. Na aham kinchit karomi. Nirodha rupa. No kama in it at all. Total nishkama. And whatever action is done by such a parabhakta, a jnani bhakta, is only for the sake of loka sangraha, for the benefit of the society. He does not see any benefit for himself in it. Therefore, being absolutely of the swarupam of renunciation, a paramabhakta, a parabhakta, an abheda bhakta is a sannyasi par excellence. You don't have to be a sannyasi with the external lingas. A parabhakta is a jnani because he is a paramabhakta. Absolutely no desires to be got from the world because the world is Ishvara. I am Ishvara. Nothing belongs to this Atma. At the same time, the whole world is in me. Matsthani sarvabhutani. Who am I? Sarvabhuta Atma Bhuta Atma, 5th chapter. Sarvabhutatma Bhutatma. What do I want? Sa na kamayamana. Bhakti is not of the nature of desire, wanting something from Ishvara. That is there. Where? For an Artha Bhakta, Artharthi Bhakta. To some extent, in a diluted form, even in a Karma Yogi. But here, the desire or the kama is sublated because of the Karma Yoga attitude. That is what expands the intellect of the bhakta to go to the level of Ishvara Yeva Asti. Ishvara Asti, Aham Tasya Bhaktosmi. To Ishvara Yeva Asti, I am not there in the picture at all. to the final Parabhakta who says, Saha Ishvaraha Ahameva Asmi. Tat Brahma Ahameva Asmi. Now, I hope you are able to see the real meaning of what bhakti is. The next step talks about what is this Nirodha? What is this renunciation that is being talked about? When Narada says, Nirodha Rupatvat Sa Bhaktihi Na Kamayamana, being of the nature of renunciation, this bhakti does not have even a little bit of what? Kama in it. My bhakti is not driven by kama. There's no kama. It's purely of the nature of renunciation. What is the renunciation? What is meant by renunciation? 8th Sutra. Nirodhastu loka veda vyaparanyasaha. Loka veda vyapara nyasaha nirodhaha. Loka vyapara, our daily activities. Vaidika vyapara, the nitya karmas, the naimitika karmas, panchamaha yajnas. Nyasaha, here nyasaha does not mean giving up. Nyasaha means losing the identification with those karmas. Losing the identification with the loka vyavaharas says, I am doing this karma. See, I have done so much for you. See, I have done so much for the society. I am a pillar of this organization. I have dedicated my entire life towards the bringing up of this institution. I have written these books and I have given all these, talks and upanyasas for the sake of the people. What is this? Loka vyapareshu abhimana. Abhimana Tyaga is actually loka, veda, vyapara, nyasa. Nyasa means giving up. Does it mean that a jnani gives up loka vyapara? No. Even as a sannyasi, he has got his vyapara to do. He has to go asking for bhiksha. He has to keep his body clean, have a bath every day, do whatever he is supposed to do. He has to study the Shastra every day. He has to study the Guru Seva, whatever it is. A Jnani Bhakta has to teach if he wants to teach. Is he not doing any kind of a Vyavahara? He is Loka Vyavahara. Jiva Yatra he has to carry on. He has to take care of his body because as soon as you are a Jnani Bhakta, your body is not going to fall off. The body has come with a certain momentum of prarabdha, it will remain. So what does this jnani have to do? He still has to do loka vyavahara. When he walks in the forest, he has to use his eyes, he has to use his ears. He can't simply blindly walk. If he finds a very, a wild animal, he has to duck himself and he has to protect himself. He has to find a place to sleep, free from all the dangers. He has to cross a river when it comes. Are these not loka vyavaharas which we are also doing? But he does it how? He doesn't renunciate them. He does them with a loss or a lack of identification that I am doing this. No, he's not doing that. So there is no identification with the loka vyavahara or vaidika vyavahara. If I am a jnani and if I am in a grahastha I have certain duties to follow. I have to take care of the family. If I am a jnani and a housewife, I have a duty to follow. I have to take care of my husband. I have to take care of my family. And if I am an earning member of the family, I have to go out and work a living for the family. I have to do what is to be done for their well-being. Is this not loka vyavahara? Does a jnani, grahastha jnani, a man or a woman give up that? Nyasa, oh, I'm a jnani now, I'm not going to do anything. I'm only going to just sit in one corner and no. Such a jnani, if he or she feels that grahastha-shrama dharmas are not really necessary for me, he can take up to a life of Vidvat sannyasa. As Yajnavalkya Rishi did. He took up to a style of Vidvat sannyasa. I can take up. Of course, this is not the place to talk about different types of sannyasa, but they can. A grahastha jnani may decide to go away with the permission of the family for the sake of purely abiding in this knowledge, which is called as Vidvat sannyasa. A grahastha sannyasi may feel there's no need for me to go anywhere. Anyway, I'm not the karta. Anyway, I'm not the bhokta. Whatever is to be done by this body mind sense complex as prarabdha for the sake of this particular surrounding around me, let me do it with the attitude of loka kalyana. So what is nyasa? Not leaving something and going away. Mentally renouncing the kartritvam in me. That is nyasa. That's why a particular Upanishad says, Nyasam Brahma. Brahma is nothing but Nyasa, because once I'm Aham Brahmasmi, there's nothing which is entangled into me. Naturally, I become unentangled from all Vyavaharas. So, who am I? So, Nirodhastu Loka Veda Vyapara Nyasa. As a jnani, a karma yogi bhakta, upasana yogi bhakta, a jnana yogi, jignasu bhakta. Ultimately, when this knowledge dawns, aham brahmasmi, the nyasa is internal and complete. A sannyasi in a forest who is not prepared for this has not yet renounced internally. Externally, he might have increased, he might have, renounced. That's why Bhagwan Vishnu says, Ayogataha sannyasaha nyatum. It is dukham. It is dukham for a sannyasi, unprepared person to take up to a life of sannyasa is dukham, because the entanglement with the body, mind, sense complex and the karma and karma phala still active. Whereas the Swarupam of Parabhakti is what? Absolutely no connection, no involvement, no entanglement with either the karma or the karma phala or aham karta asmiti. No. So this is the real nyasa. Nirodhaha tu. Because in the previous verse, what did he say? Sa parabhaktihi nirodha rupatvat na kamayamana. And what is this nirodha rupa? Nyasaha. Nirodhastu loka veda vyaparat. Okay, vyapara nyasa. Loka veda vyaparat nyasaha. Disentanglement. Loka vyavahara is still going on. A grahastha jnani will still continue to do his Vaidika karmas. But all that is done as a mere instrument, nimitta matra of Ishvara, for the sake of Loka Kalyana. This is the real nyasa, internal renunciation, not the external renunciation. Then he says again in the 9th verse, Narada Muni, Narada Maharshi again talks of this particular nature of this bhakti. So the first two verses here in this section, 7th sutra and 8th sutras talked about Sa Parabhaktihi Nirodha Swarupaha. Nirodha Swarupa Bhakti. And there is no desire in it. And what is that Nirodha Swarupa? Was explained in the 8th sutra in the form of Loka Veda Vyaparat Nyasaha, which means no entanglement with either the karma or the person who's doing the karma, karta, karma, karma phala, nothing. All the karakas are Brahman. For a jnani, when he is doing any karma without any kind of an entanglement, the whole karma becomes, all the karakas of the karma become Brahman. Do you remember the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita? Brahmarpanam Brahmahavi, Brahmagnau Brahmanahutam, Brahmaivate Gantavyam, Brahma Karma Samadhina. This is a jnani where he sees the karta, the karma, the karanam, okay, the sampradhanam, okay, then apadanam, adhikaranam. All these karakas are seen as none other than Brahman. This is what is called as Sarva Loka Veda Vyapara Nyasa. Now, the next in the 9th sutra, one more feature or swarupam of bhakti comes. Sorry. Tasmin ananyata tad virodhishu udasinata cha. Tasmin, in that Ishvara. Do you remember the second sutra? Satu tasmin parama prema rupa. That was the second sutra. Tasmin Ishvare. Okay. Tat is always used for Brahman or Ishvara. So here he says, Tasmin Ananyata. In that Ishvara, there is Ananyata. That means what? Aham bhaktaha anyaha. Ishvaraha mattaha anyaha. This bhavana is not there. Okay? Ishvara is not mattaha paraha. Ishvara is not. Ishvara and me, there's no anyata, ananyata. This is one of the most important features, swarupas of this bhakti. Tasmin ananyata. Tadvirodhishu udasinatacha. What is virodha to Ishvara? Really speaking, there is no virodha. Everything is Ishvara. But the names and forms, the upadhis, things that are done in other forms, not as bhakti, but with other forms. People who are appeasing to Ishvara in the form of Artha Bhaktas and Artharthi Bhaktas. Those people who are not seeing the oneness between Ishvara and oneself. Those who are utilizing Ishvara as, what can you call, making use of presence of Ishvara for one's own benefit. This Jnani Bhakta, this Ananya Bhakta has no complaints about such things. Anything tadvirodishu, in those practices, in those people, in those situations where there is no alignment with Ishvara, with such people, with such practices, with such situations, Udasinata. He's udasina. It just doesn't bother because, ultimately everything is Ishvara only. And he's not interested in convincing anybody. He's not interested. Because he knows that this person has to grow. If you go to an Artha Bhakta and tell him, look, Artha Bhakti is okay, but the greatest Bhakti is Ananya Bhakti. You have to be an Ananya Bhakta to really experience that whatever Ishvara is. Will he understand? Will an Artha Bhakta who is in some kind of a desperate situation, holding on to Ishvara's name, like probably that Gajaraja, who's held by a crocodile and calls. Most of us are like that, no? Draupadi. See, at that moment, there is something where I can still do it. I want Ishvara to help me. Okay? I still have that feeling that I am capable. But once I realize that no, I cannot do anything, it's only Ishvara. And when I leave that last Abhimanam also, that is the time Ishvara comes. That is why it seems when Draupadi's Vastraharanam was happening, till the last minute Krishna did not come. And when she asked him later, why you did not come to help me? Krishna said, look, you were making your effort. You thought you could talk to, Dhritarashtra, to Bhishma, to Vidura and all and take help from them. Then you thought your husbands will protect you and you asked them. Then you tried to bring in dharma in between and say that all that. When nothing worked, when you realize that nothing is in my hands, I am helpless, I can't do anything, till then you were even holding on to your sari. And you realize that there's nothing I can do, and you just left that sari also and you called me. That's why I came. You didn't call me earlier. Did you call me? If you had called me earlier, I would have come and helped you earlier. But you still thought that you could do it. Nothing wrong. You must put on your effort, everything. She tried. She tried everything possible from her side to do, and then when she found that nothing was helping her, that was the time she called Ishvara. And that time Draupadi was not there. There was only Krishna. Only Krishna. Nobody else, nothing else was there. In spite of so many people, in spite of 5 powerful husbands, in spite of a powerful Pitamaha like Bhishma, nobody could help her. So here what it is, Tadvirodishu udasinata. A bhakta, a jnani bhakta never has any opinion, never condemns anybody who has other ideas about bhakti. Tadvirodishu. Virodha means that which is other than the absolute bhakti. He's udasina. Doesn't really bother much. He doesn't have any kind, you're right, you're wrong, you should do this, you should do nothing. Fine. That's the way he or she feels. Very good. He will grow out. He will grow up. He'll be mature one day. That is the attitude. So he says, Tasmin ananyata. In that Ishvara, there is ananyata. Ananyata means na anyaha ananya. No separation. Like, when you put water into water, where is the separation? No separation. Similarly, no separation. Ananya bhakti, jnani bhakti, param bhakti, para bhakti, all these are the same. These are all the paryaya padas for the jnanam or jnani bhakta. Tad virodishu, anything which is opposite to this devotion, anything which differs from this devotion, either to the devotee or the methods of devotion or the intention of devotion, our jnani bhakta is udasinaha, indifferent. He will not create any buddhi bheda. Hey, what you're doing is wrong. This is not the thing. Look at me. See, I am a parama bhakta. You should become like me. No. There is no buddhi bhedam na janayet, Lord Krishna. No buddhi bheda is created. You're doing that? Fine. You're doing the right thing. Continue. You ask any, what you call a Mahatma, a Jnani, and you ask, I am doing this. Is it right or wrong, Swamiji, or whatever? Nothing wrong. Continue to do whatever you are doing. Bhagwan will guide you how to go about it. Whatever you are doing now is the right thing you are doing. Continue whatever you are doing. One day, slowly you will find that you have reached a level where the same bhakti looks more subtle, more beautiful, more of a renunciating type. So, the one of the most important features of this bhakti is tasmin ananyata. No difference between the upasya and the upasaka. Oneness. The upasaka is literally resolved into the upasya, resolved completely. No individuality left. A vestigial ego may be left for the conduction of his daily deha yatra, jiva yatra. That's also tadvirodishu udasinata. Udasinata tadvirodishu. Anything which doesn't fit into this Ananya Bhakti, our Ananya Bhakta is Udasina. That means he is indifferent, complete indifference. Neither finds fault with it, nor tries to influence it, nothing. Then, next, 10th Sutra, Narada talks about the meaning of Ananyata. In the previous sutra, what was it? Tasmin Ananyata, the nature of bhakti. The quality, I wouldn't say the quality, the very nature of bhakti. Okay, the very swarupam of bhakti, the very inherent nature of bhakti, the very uniqueness of this parabhakti. Many words can be used for this. What is that? Tasmin ananyata. No separation from Ishvara. Now, what is that ananyata? That is going to be talked here in the 10th sutra. Ananya ashrayanam tyago ananyata. Very clear, no? This sutra is very simple. Anya ashrayanam tyagaha. Anya ashrayanam tyagaha ananyata. That means all other supports, I no longer care for them. I have a mansion of, 10 bedrooms support. Okay? This is an ashraya for me. No, the bhakta does not see any ashraya in it. I have got a bank balance of so many crores. No ashraya in there. No satisfaction or ashraya on security in that. He does not see it. It's there. It's there. Today is there. Tomorrow it's not there. It may be there now. It may be gone next year, next time. And he's not even feeling bad about it. Oh, that was the nature of that. The nature of all that which I am surrounded with, including the so-called house in which I live, the so-called money that is there in my name in some bank, they are not really ashrayas. They are the ones who are every minute they are slipping away from me. The ananyata of a bhakta is no longer holding on to other ashrayas which are slipping away from one's hand. That means Bhagavan alone is his ashraya. Para is only, Param Brahma is only his ashraya. All the names and forms, all the apara vastus are all, he no longer cares for them. They are no longer the ashraya for him. They may be useful for vyavahara. They may be useful. Yeah, I want to, spend something to get something. Yes, they're useful for vyavahara. But they are not my security. They are not my ashraya. I don't depend for security or ashraya on any of the things outside, because I have found that ashraya which is permanent. Aham, this Atma, this Brahman, which is najayate, namriyate, that which is ajaha, nityaha, shashvataha, puranaha, satya, nitya, buddha, mukta, atma, brahma is the only support, only ashraya which the jnani has discovered. And anya ashrayanam tyagaha. Here also tyagaha means, it doesn't mean he gives up everything. Oh, this house is not an ashraya for me. I get out of this house and I'll go and stay under a tree. The tree also becomes an ashraya for some time, and during rain the tree may fall on his head. So what is meant by tyaga, what is meant by nirodha in Narada Bhakti Sutra is the internal renunciation, not running away from the world. Okay? Doesn't run away from the world, because anya ashrayanam tyagaha ananyata. I no longer consider any anatma, including this body, mind, sense complex, as an ashraya, because I am abiding in the ultimate ashraya, less ashraya, called as Brahman or Atma. So this is the meaning of ananyata. What is happening here is, one sutra is talking about the swarupam of bhakti, and in the next sutra, what is the meaning of that particular swarupam is being explained. Tasmin ananyata, when it was said in the 9th verse, 9th sutra, in the 10th verse, Narada explains, ananyata means anya ashrayanam tyagaha. Emotionally, mentally, psychologically, no dependence. Okay? So I think we have already reached time. So, nandantu sadhaka sarve vinashyantu vidushakaha avastha shambhavi mestu prasannostu guru sada sarve bhavantu sukhinaha sarve santu niramayaha sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kaschit dukkham apnuyat. Om shanti shanti shanti. Om Tat Sat.